Yeah, do I regret it? I wanted to make this video because a lot of people in the minimalism community always talk about
just chuck it, get rid of it, you won't regret it.
I used to tell myself, like, how could you be so wasteful? How could you be so stupid? How could you be so naive and, you know, blindly follow minimalism jargon and dogma without thinking for yourself? Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobras nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. So today's minimalism video is going to be talking about my biggest minimalism decluttering regret. And that is, do I regret throwing my luxury purses in the garbage? So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it, let's go. Woo. So if you guys have been following my channel, I actually don't think many of you guys would. This is a very old video. This was 5 years ago. And as I've mentioned, if you didn't watch that video, I took my luxury purses and I threw them in the garbage. The most expensive being a Michael Kors tote bag in the shade maroon, and that was $300, which was a gift from my ex. Oh God, what was I thinking? So if you're wondering why in the world would I do that, so I was reading Marie Kondo's book at the time, and she mentioned that, like, if you don't want it, your friends don't want it, so just throw it in the garbage. And I was like, okay. And she also mentioned getting rid of gifts from ex-lovers, and so I was like, okay, I should probably get rid of my ex's stuff. And I definitely agree with all of these points. I think that those things are valid. It just was very unfortunate that my luxury items were all gifts from my ex, and so I threw them in the garbage. Yeah, do I regret it? I wanted to make this video because a lot of people in the minimalism community always talk about just
chuck it, get rid of it, you won't regret it.
I want to be the first to say that I don't think that that is necessarily true. I think we definitely can't have regrets. Throwing things in the garbage is probably not the smartest way to do things. I think that probably recycling it, reselling it, passing it on to somebody was probably the smarter thing to do. No hate whatsoever to Marie Kondo. She's from a different culture. Japan must do things differently. But I don't think having thrown it in the garbage was the smartest thing to do. So to answer the question, yes, I do regret it. I regretted it a long time ago. Enough time has passed now that I look back on it and I kind of like sort of laugh. But I definitely would do things differently, and I think that what I would have done differently is I would have passed it on to other people. Was it worth it? Yes and no. I think that it was worth it because it definitely helped shed some of my skin. I don't think holding on to ex's gifts was probably very healthy, so I think in that sense that was definitely the right thing to do, but I wish that the method that I had chosen was different. And I think that also holding on to the regret was probably not very healthy. I sit here and laugh, but I actually held that regret with me for an extremely long period of time, probably a time that was even like beyond healthy. I think it was only till maybe like last year, the year before that, like I finally started to forgive myself. I used to tell myself, like, how could you be so wasteful? How could you be so stupid? How could you be so naive? Blindly follow minimalism jargon and dogma without thinking for yourself. That's actually one of the main things that I ended up learning from that circumstances, is that I learned to develop free thought. I don't blindly follow people anymore. I might read an interesting book, but just because they give tips, you know, 1, 2, 3, doesn't mean you should blindly follow it. So that's something that I do now. I'm very critical and I think and I question, is this long-term a suitable decision for myself? And that's actually something that has helped me a lot in the minimalism community. You guys know that I am super obsessed with watching Minimalist, although recently I've taken a break because I'm on break, but that has also kind of helped me to step back and think, you know what, Nathalie's minimalism is probably the most suitable minimalism for Nathalie and not like other people. You guys have seen that I have like a top 10 that I like to follow and listen to, and before I treated like Bible, but I don't anymore. I try to think for myself so that I can avoid some of these biggest regrets. My advice that I could give is something that had worked for me, is to develop your own thought and don't be so rash to just throw everything in the garbage just because, you know, some minimalism guru said that you will feel so much lighter and have no regret. We're all human and we all make mistakes, so don't beat yourself up about it. If you have made mistakes, you can always go out and repurchase something. And all right, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.